Good morning, you guys. I am C Lovely, and I'm going to vlog my experience going to traveling to Denver, Colorado from this Woman Evolve women's conference with Sarah Jakes. And I just want to vlog a little bit and show you guys my experience and the process of how everything went. I'm currently headed back home. I just dropped my kids off at daycare. And so I have to go back home, get ready, grab my bags, and then be ready to go. It is me, it's my sister, and my cousin that are also going with me. So it should be a fun experience. And so I just thought, why not vlog it and let you guys see my experience and how everything goes. And so I can't promise you that I'm going to continue to vlog and stuff, but I did want to vlog this experience. And yeah, so let's see. I'm looking rough, but next time you see me, I will not. So I'll get back to you when I get to my house.
I am back. We are heading to the airport. And
everything, even BJ, Bertman Dixon, he got cut off.
Airport Chronicles. We are waiting to board. See you guys later.
For the weekend. No, I'm not.
138.
Oh, wow.
Please keep clear of passengers.
We have arrived.
Came from this way, and this one came from this way, so it's going like make sure that all of these are
Our diocesan.
That's it.
This is our bishop. Bishop or bishop.
No, but my friend.
Oh, okay. Then
We have arrived.
oh no. It's Bishop. Our vice president.
I get it.
I want to officially welcome you to Woman Evolve 2019. The Blues Hill Society is in the building. Does everyone have a letter? I wrote these letters for you because I wanted everyone to have something to take away with them. And I prayed that God would make sure that every woman got the letter that she needed for this time in her life that she was in. But I want to do something a little special because there are some women here who came by themselves. There are some women here who have never been seen and affirmed by another woman. They don't know what it's like to have connection and sisterhood. And so I want you to take a moment and with your letter, just find another woman in the room and just share your letter with her. Let her share your letter with you. Don't be corny and go up to somebody you already know. That's whack. Go to someone who you do not know. Change the world. I see women crying tears they've held in for so long. I see women hugging on one another in a way they haven't been embraced in a long time. This is not just a conference, this is a move. I came here to make you the hands and feet of God. I came here to help you pull another sister out of her struggle. Girl, get your bag, we moving up. Man, we were planning for the conference and things started getting stressful, and I said if I could just hang on and get them in the room. If I could just get them in the room, I know that everything we've been going through is going to be worth it. Are you so glad to be here? Have you already felt the presence of God just connecting the room, letting you know he sees every part of you. You are not here by coincidence. He's going to do everything that he promised to do. You are not going to leave this place the same. He who has no sword, let him sell his garment and buy one, for I say to you that this which is written must still be accomplished in me. There's another level, there's another layer of who I am, and it hasn't been accomplished yet. So I have to prepare everyone around me for what I'm about to walk into. Somebody needs to start sending text messages. I'm about to shift into something, and I just want you to grab everything you can grab, because when I move, you got to move with me. When I grow, you got to grow with me. Somebody's best friend is sitting beside them. You came here by yourself, but I'm your growing buddy. I'm gonna help you become everything you're supposed to be. I may not listen to the same music as you. I may not look the same way you do. But when it's growing time, I'm the one for the job. Cause I'm gonna make sure you become everything.
Maybe that's the book signing line.
Cora.
With some ventilation, you know what I'm saying? This session is important to me because I think whether you had your father in your life or didn't have your father in your life, that some of us have struggled with maybe having daddy issues. And some of us have great relationships with our fathers now, but maybe haven't always or used to.
Visionary and entrepreneur.
About you being pure or innocent. I assumed you were human when you cried into the world. That was never the issue. That is seldom the issue with men. Your mother says I'm the least judgmental person she ever met. We will give each other slack for days and days and days. When a man says another man's a dog, he's a dog. He's a real bow wow, okay? So, he's a real bow wow. It wasn't, the nature of the relationship was not built in my mind on pureness or innocence. It was you.
See, but it wasn't that for me. Because I thought I was like daddy's little girl.
You are.
I know. But I felt like I could do something that would make me lose that.
Never. That's not possible. That's not possible. You can scare me to death. I could be worried to death. You could break my heart. You can do all that kind of stuff. But there's nothing you could ever do that would change how I feel about you. See, knowing this is important because this is the first glimpse into understanding what Jesus meant when he prayed this. That is an irrevocable relationship the rest of your life. If you're 900 years old, you're still my baby girl. If you got no legs, you're my baby girl. If you're a hoe on the street shooting dope, you're still my child. Don't you ever forget that. Don't you ever forget that. I don't care what. And as long as I'm breathing in this world, I will fight for you. I will come and get you. I will drive the getaway car. I will judge me if you want to. I will drive the getaway car. I will be fussing while I'm driving. I will be calling you names and saying this don't make no sense. It's stupid. Are you a phone? What were you thinking about? But I will be driving the car.
Pedal to the metal.
That kind of understanding leads us to this. Should we be more temperate? We learn to be more temperate with time and age. But and crushing. By the way, I'll be signing crushing after this. The crushings of life means You're raising your child at the same time you're raising yourself. Because this is a new role, okay? And so when you put yourself in their shoes, their background, their body of experiences, then it becomes a lot better, easier to get over it, okay? And so you have to get over it because something else is gonna happen next week. You're gonna look up next week and somebody's in the hospital, somebody got run over by a car. You look up 2 weeks from now, you know, you're standing on stage. Good and bad things happen over and over and over again. But because you're nurturers by nature, you're nurturers by nature. It works out good for us in your womb. It works out good for us in your bed. But it works out bad for you if you take that nurturing skill and use it in your mind to nurture negative, painful, hurtful images that you hold in the womb of your mind for years and years and feed them. You breastfeed your pain by bringing it up again and rehearsing it with other people and talking to other people about it. You keep it alive. And so what the enemy is trying to do is use your God-given instincts against you. Eve was a nurturer. She was a caretaker. She had breasts. She was going to be a feeder. He took everything about her that was amazing and used it against her to tear down the situation she was in. So you have to be careful because the problem with being gifted is that every moon has a dark side. When we say it's a full moon, it's never a full moon. There's still as much dark as there is light, okay? And so what you have to understand about life and about people is that there is a dark side and you have to deal with all of that if you're gonna have a whole relationship and be strong. And the only way you can deal with it is emptying out of your womb everything, every bitter, toxic, angry, I'm gonna show them vindictive thing, because you won't have enough energy to be successful. Success takes a lot of energy, and you're spending too much energy on toxicity to have the power that's necessary to break through the barrier between mediocrity and to great. As a thick wall between mediocrity and greatness is a thick wall to be upset for 15 years. You gotta get over this. You've been 10 years ago, 10 years ago, 8 years ago. Right now it's real popular to go back 10 years ago and 12 years ago and 5. It's real popular. That might make good ratings for news stations, but that's horrible for life. Because by that standard, you will have nobody.
Sit on the stairs or something.
Father God, thank you, Lord. Let's say cheese. Where's the camera?
Oh,
Where are we
cheese.
looking?
What? No, she's the winner? Okay.
How?
Yes.
I love it.
Lord,
Congratulations.
Thank
Hi.
you.
Hi.
Thank you. Yeah, just for a second.
I know I've been it for a while. I smile, smile. It's so hard to look up when you've been down. Sure would hate to see you give up now. You look so much better when you smile, smile.
But you had to buy pajamas to even come out tonight, so we're not going to judge. I really like when you guys feel a part of everything that we do, so Cora and I are going to come out in the audience and make you a part of the pajama.
Because you go to Orange Theory and I can't.
That's fine. But while we're getting situated, can you guys just say hi and welcome everyone to the pajama panel, please? Maybe Holly, we can start with you. Hi, everybody.
I'm ready for the party. You can be a godmother
for friendship. I'm looking for companionship sometimes. I'm pretty much of a loner, and if I'm circled with my family, I'm good. And so I found out with friendships, they become very demanding, and they become very dictatorial, and I'm not looking for a female dictator in my life. I feel like I'm a grown-up, and I can say and do what I want to do, and I don't need the clan to tell me how to treat my husband, when I should cook, what I should wear. I feel like go play in traffic. 37 or something like that. Years of marriage that my husband has taught me that sex is a biological need for men and an intimacy need for women, and that women feel loved, which makes them feel sexy, but men feel sexed and makes them feel loved. And so I found out that you gotta sex him up to make him feel loved, and then when he loves me up, I feel sexy.
To breaking a soul tie is really wanting it to be broken. Because sometimes we want it to be broken because we still want it. But I think if you come to a place where you hate that soul tie, I hate that I can't control myself, I hate that I keep wanting to go back, I hate that I can't become the woman that I know I'm supposed to become because I'm still tied to this situation. When you look at it, you don't feel lust, you feel hate, and then you can pray from that place because it takes the power of God to break a soul tie. Sex is very spiritual. When you're connected to someone, it's hard to just walk away and take your heart and your spirit back at the same time. But if you give God the power to do it, then you and him can go into the enemy's camp. Come on, somebody, and take back what the devil stole from you. But you gotta really hate that thing, and you gotta really want that thing to be broken. And anytime it springs up, you gotta know that's the lowest version of me that wants something that is gonna kill the best version of me. And I'm so in love with who I am becoming that I will let that low-level version of Sarah, I can't fool with her. She'll have me out here doing things that I can't trust, and I gotta drag Eve into the New Testament so she can be married. We're not out here eating from forbidden fruit no more, girl. Come on, get your bag. And let's roll over to the New Testament where we start birthing things that look like God and birthing things that look like Jesus. But you're not wrong for still feeling connected. You just have to hate it so much because you recognize that it's keeping you from having the authentic soul tie that God really wants you to have. Because as long as you're focused on the counterfeit, you'll never see the authentic.
Day 2.
That you're being called to do business in. I'm gonna give you perspective. I'm not gonna diminish you. I'm not gonna hold you back. I'm not gonna decrease you. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come alongside of you and I'm gonna give you some perspective and I'm gonna give you some parameters. I'm not trying to control you, baby. Together we gonna win together. So let me give you, watch this. Let me give you perspective. Let me give you parameters, and let me give you prophecy. Because the real one that God has for you will have insight and wisdom concerning you. That was for free. Just take notes of that. That was for free. And speaking of for free, I always like to bless the women. I want to bless 10 women. We have these been through some stuff. I won't go into it too deep, but in fact, most theologians believe, and I think it's easy to deduce, that this was Bathsheba, who was that Proverbs 31 woman. And it's funny, we look at her life, and we want it. But do you really want it? But the beautiful thing about the Proverbs 31 woman, not to belabor the point, the beautiful thing about the Proverbs 31 woman is she had foliage. What is foliage? Is the extra stuff. It says, by wisdom a house is built. Through understanding, it's established. It says, but through knowledge, its chambers are filled with rare and precious treasures. That's fullness. That is the manifestation of everything that's in you. See, some of you are in different stages of what I'm talking about. Some of you just got wisdom. You're just getting started. Your house is built, and that's wonderful. But you got to keep going. You got to continue to evolve. Now, maybe you got to work on your insides. Hello, somebody. Stephanie Ike.
The visionary, additional love. I think that we have to have a fresh perspective of what that means, because the same way God loves us unconditionally, but what does that really look like? God doesn't give us everything we want. Exactly. Actually, what the scripture tells us that he disciplines those that he loves. Yes. So sometimes God actually withholds things from you because he loves you. So as humans, why would we just give everything and say, I'm loving you unconditionally? That does not even match with how God loves us. So I think it's a fresh perspective.
Amen. What marriage looks like now. And I love what you were saying earlier about the husband being a facilitator of the woman's identity and purpose. I had never really heard that until you and I met. And you told me that. Can you tell them what you told me that God told you your assignment was to me?
Absolutely. I mean, there's layers to it, but I think that my job, putting the love to the side, of course we are crazy in love with each other. We're best friends. So we have some of the foundational things that make relationships work. Our faith, our love for each other. I'm crazy about this woman, like for real. Like I miss her when she's asleep. Like she's asleep and I'm like, I'm lonely now. you know. But then I think that there's also my responsibility. And my responsibility to what we spoke to earlier is to be a facilitator. I see her. I think that when God brings somebody into your life, if that individual is truly for you, God gives that person the ability to see you right. Perhaps to see you in a way that you don't see yourselves. And so I feel like my job is to see you right and speak to that part of you until that part of you shows up.
So when you speak that to that part of me, though, one of the things that I've had to work through is, like I mentioned yesterday, my daddy issues, and sometimes like my husband's talking about, I hear my dad's voice and it makes me feel like maybe I'm not good enough, because I think part of you facilitating that environment, and I want to speak to this a little bit because I think if we don't have proper perception on a husband facilitating our environment, then we will take his questioning as maybe like not being supportive or trying to take something away from us and feel like we're at war when we're really on the same. Things that I have learned to do is really, truly believe that you and I are on the same team. I think that's one of the hardest things about marriage, is really believing like we're on the same team.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that there's always going to be, even to wax spiritual, there's always going to be an attack to divide. It's just the reality of the life that we live in. And one of the ways that the other guy comes in to try to divide two people is to cause one or the other to believe that some sort of way the partner is an enemy and is trying to hold me back or to keep me back. And I think it's challenging for me sometimes. We've grown through a lot of things. I'm a protector by nature. I just, I've got daughters, I got sons. I grew up where you had to protect yourself. And so my view, I talk about my book Wholeness for a long time, my view of the world was skewed stemming back to when my bike got stolen when I was 5 years old, you know. And so early on in my desire to protect her, she was new to LA. You know, she knows corners in Dallas, but LA ain't Dallas, you know what I mean? I love Dallas, that's my third home. But LA is different, so I remember early on where she would hand.
And so when he would like try to protect me by like maybe questioning, you know, where are you going and like which way did you take to get there, I would become super defensive. And I don't know, God is really working with me and through me about not becoming so defensive, because when I feel like for some reason you're coming up against my plan or coming up against what I have to do, I feel like I need to protect my right to make my own decisions. And hold up, wait a minute. A minute.
Like they've already received their breakthrough. Now I'm just getting it for the overflow. It might be another year till we get together, but I can soak up this environment enough to last me for the next year. I wish I had some women in this room who said, I just need a little top me off. I just need a little overflow. If this conference is blessed, your life, can we just thank the King?
And I want to use this scripture to kind of set the tone. You guys can stay seated because I'm going to make you stand up in a minute. So spare your feet for as long as you can. Luke 18, verse 1 is a parable. This is Jesus speaking. And it says that Jesus spoke a parable to them that men always ought to pray and not lose heart, saying, there was in a certain city a judge who did not fear God nor regard man. Now there was a widow in that city, and she came to him saying, get justice for me from my adversary. And he would not for a while, but afterward he said within himself, though I do not fear God nor regard man, yet because this widow troubles me, I will avenge her, lest by her continual coming she weary me. This woman is going to get on my nerves. This woman is going to get on my nerves because she's going to keep coming back over and over again until I make a decision in her favor. This woman, the widow, has nothing left to lose. It stands to reason that in this time that a man would go and approach a judge, or if that man passed away and the woman had sons, then the son would go and then advocate on her behalf. But because she does not have a son, and because she does not have her husband any longer, she's experienced loss after loss after loss. Now she's embattled in a court case, and she has made a decision down in her soul that I don't have anything left to lose. And because I do not have anything left to lose, I don't mind getting on this judge's nerves until he moves in my favor. There's too many things going through all of these struggles and triumphs. You decide, there's a certain posture you get when you decide, I'm not going to let anything else just be taken away from me. I let too many people and too many things and too many situations just run up in my heart and run up in my spirit and take away the thing that made me who I am. So if you're going to take something from me, you're going to have to put up your best fight, because I don't have nothing left to lose. I have to tell you that since we've been here, people have died. People have left this earth. Since we've been here in this room, people have been diagnosed with cancer. When they go home, they got to plan funerals. When they go home, they got to talk to doctors. But when they go home, they're not going home by themselves. They're going home with an army of sisters who said, my girl don't have nothing left to lose. And so I want you to find somebody in this room. We're going to call on heaven, so that heaven meets her when she returns. If you're not comfortable giving your part, the kind of glory that overflows and saturates and changes every life, then I want you to pray over disbelief. I want you to pray over disbelief. I want you to pray over disbelief. I don't want to hear you second guess yourself any longer. I don't want to hear you question
question your anointing any longer. I don't want to hear you questioning your gifts and talents any longer. We can't fight the devil and fight you, so we about to put you to death. So that glory can spring up on the inside of you. We can't fight the devil and you. So you're going to stop sabotaging yourself and sabotaging your destiny and sabotaging your relationships because you don't believe you're worthy. Hell is a liar. You are everything that God says you are. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. Yes, you were the abortion. Yes, you were the molestation. Yes, you were the divorce. You're everything.